Kev.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 5. I can't even bring myself to say it. Absolutely fuming. And I said after the defeat to Leicester, it was an emotional roller coaster. For me, the roller coaster has just ended today. That is absolutely abysmal. And I mean abysmal. I'm joined by Joe. I will ask Joe very shortly his thoughts on the game. I'm sure we're all the same, everybody that's in the comments. But Manchester United today I'm just going to say turned up. They have not turned up. No. And I think it's very, very quickly becoming apparent. It's there that Gunnar Solskjaer is well out of his depth. And I mean out of his depth. And it's emotional because we've had this attachment to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I get that. He played for Manchester United. But at the end of that game today, I mean, I've seen absolutely nothing from Manchester United. There was no game plan. And the fact that we've chose the same team, Joe, the same setup that started against Atalanta, yeah? And we go 2-0 behind. He changes it. Yes, we win 3-2. What is the thinking behind playing the same team against a better team in Liverpool? And then, you know, I said, you give a team against like Liverpool a lead, you are not recovering from that. And that's absolutely abysmal today. An absolute joke. And if I hear any of these PR companies that are in charge of these players' accounts coming out today and saying the kind of horse shit that's going to be, we move again, we build on, you know, what? No, I am not having that. I am absolutely fuming, fuming. And it's very difficult. Anybody that watches the United Stand and they think it's easy to come on to a fan forum like this and do it, it's very, very difficult. But part of me's kind of holding back at this moment in time, but that is a watershed moment today. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer walking off that pitch, the fact that we've seen clips of Sir Alex Ferguson in the crowd, shaking his head. The writing is on the wall. This is absolutely disastrous. And listen, before I lose the plot completely, I will hand over to you, Joe. And all I can really say to you, mate, thoughts on the game today and moving forward. I mean,
I just want to say I am the only joy I'm having right now is that I'm surrounded by you, Kev, and you, Jay, as being top Manchester United fans who will take the only sort of onus I have on this is the fact that we're together in this misery, right? This is it. This is it, okay? There was no coming back from this. There was no, like you said, Kev, there's no one that can say, like, we go forward, we move on. We don't. There was no coming back from this. And the thing is, we have exceptional football players, okay? We do. World class. Several, the amount of them that were on the pitch, one of them lasted 15 minutes. They do not want to play for this manager, okay? We can see this within the first 15 minutes when we were 2-0 down, that they have no interest in being under the stewardship of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that's just it. Why are they able to do so well under international football and then they come to us and they literally look like they don't know what a football is? It's because of the manager, okay? I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I adore the man. I feel like he made me fall back in love with Man United as a football club because I didn't like us under Van Gaal. I didn't like us under Mourinho. And maybe for the first year, 18 months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I was like, yes, this is something I can get on board with. But we all knew from day one, it was never going to be forever, okay? But I never thought it would get to this bad. I never thought it would get to this level.
And you know, Joe, it is tactical and it is the way that Manchester United is setting up.
Yeah,
you look at that team today that Manchester United had out, and man for man, they've got James Milner in midfield. Now, if you go man for man and look through that team, you would agree that individually, probably Manchester, apart from Mo Salah, were better on paper. And
it's all about setup. It's all about setup. It's all about having the tactical nous to be able to put players out there to play to their best possible potential. And we have not had that, and we've never had that under Gunnar Solskjaer, and we're never going to get that. It needs to come to an end, and needs to come to an end tonight, because he's not going to get the fans back on board. All he's going to do is make enemies, and that's it. And I think there's no better bookend for his United tenure than after tonight, because there's no upside to this. There's no positive take from this. There's no aspect of this game that I can look at this saying we have something coming. We're done. If we continue with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we look at Arsenal and we say, ha. But like, I would take Arteta right now. Do you know what I mean? I would take Arteta. I would take even maybe possibly Frank Lampard. I'm not saying they're good managers. All I'm saying that they are better than Solskjaer right now. I'm being a bit reactionary, I know this, but I'm really, really fuming at what we put out today. And the worst part was of it, I expected this to happen. If we scored... Sorry.
No, Joe, I was going to say it's very difficult to come on here, especially what we've seen today. It's not like we've lost 2-1 or it was a close game. This game was over. Within 10, 13 minutes of today, you could tell the way that game was going to go.
And I'm sorry for interrupting you again, Kev, and I'm genuinely dying to hear what Jay has to say as well, because I know I'm going to agree with all of his points. But like, it would be a different story if the goals we conceded were like, oh my God, that's just exceptional. Do you know what I mean? That's a world-class goal. How are we going to stop that? Every single goal was our fault. We played ourselves into Liverpool's hands. They could not have dreamt to have a better game, a better setup that United set up for that. It's embarrassing. This team is done. This team is done after with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we need to move on. We need to move on now, because I don't want to hate the man. I want to love him, but it's only going to be a matter of time. I'm seething here. I'm sorry, I'm seething. Yeah. I'm seething.
And that's the one thing I would say. Them Glazers, they're the ones that have put us in this predicament, right? And we're all emotionally attached to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And on the strength of them 10 games or whatever it was when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in charge, they give him the job, which they never should have. But yes, we went along with it. And as Sir Alex Ferguson said in 2013, when he left Manchester United, he said, you support your manager, and that is our job as fans. And we have done that. This isn't a year, a six months. This is not being reactionary to a short distance that he's been in. This is over 3 years now. And I think Manchester United fans have been patient. We wanted it to happen. For me personally, and I think this would be a big call, but as a Manchester United fan, and if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is as big as a Man United fan as he claims to be, the biggest thing he could do tonight is resign from Manchester United. The look on his face walking off that field, to me, suggests that's a man. This job is just far too
much
big for him.
And you tweeted that, Kev. You tweeted that, and I completely agree with you. You tweeted that out. Yeah.
I would respect him far, far more if he did something along them lines and said, for the good of Manchester United, I need to leave and get out. It was good while it happened. I've given it my best shot, but I need to go. But listen, Mr. Jay Daly has joined us. And Jay, it's never, ever great doing fan forums like this. We have never experienced anything quite like this. All I can say is thoughts on that, mate.
Hi, Kevin. Hi, Joe. Everybody watching. Look, Kevin, you've often referred to me on the show as the angry Irishman, because I almost felt I had reason to be angry. But today, I'm going to be very measured and tempered in my analysis and my comments. There's going to be no truculence. There's going to be no emotion. It's just going to be very simple, guys. 14 points from 27, 7th place, 8 points off the top, and played 9 games. Liverpool's biggest win at Old Trafford in 100 years. Liverpool today had 645 completed passes. We had a grand total of 321. I think that in itself, the sheer cold hard numbers sum up today. At half time, Andy Mitten from United We Stand Fanzine tweeted out The last time we were 4-0 down at home was May 1990 against Nottingham Forest. And that's when Fergie put out a weakened side because he had the FA Cup final on the horizon. Look, you can say embarrassing, you can say it's untenable, whatever terms you want to put in it, guys. But listen, let's be fair. We have been on the show now together. I know, Joe, you're newer, but bones of a year. And we have the same conversations, guys, over and over again. We're using the same one-liners. And people have been very slow to say, Ollie out. I said it last May, and that's fine. That was me. That's just, I don't want to pat in the back for it or anything like that. I certainly don't. But this guy's, the tenure of Solskjaer was a car crash waiting to happen. I wouldn't put Solskjaer in charge of Willie Ben, London Football Club. But today, I think that 5-0 loss was just a manifestation of where we are right now as a club. Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw looked like they just met in the car park and were having a kickabout in a pub game. It's like there was no communication between them. They're England internationals. They've been playing together now for going on 3 seasons. And today, guys, they were absolutely shocking today for me. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Yeah. And yet, we've said the phrase that Adam has used on the channel many times is lack of balls. I've used lack of particular fortitude. At half time, you're 4-0 down. Your so-called captain is having his second nightmare 2 weeks running. Show us some leadership, Solskjaer. Get him off the pitch. Get on a fully fit Eric Bailly and try and build from the back. But no, Harry Maguire is left on. And I really think, guys, had Liverpool really wanted the last 20 minutes to put it to the sword, because they've got 1-9 in Champions League coming up, they could have scored 7 or 8 today, guys. I really believe that. For me today, the most frustrating thing today, I'm sitting down with my son today, right? Mate of mine gives me this brand new 1991 retro European Cup jersey. My son is sitting down in the new kit, and the camera is panning to the smug faces of the big different Scousers in our house.
Yeah.
And I found that very, very hard to take. I know, as Kevin and Joe, we discussed on previous shows, anybody in the fan base that wants us to lose just to get rid of the manager, we have issue with that. But after today, I think they got their wish. Yeah. And if they don't get their wish, I don't like how I'm so frustrated, guys. I'm trying to stay measured and tempered here, because I promised myself today I'd stay very measured and tempered. The second point that I want to pick out from the game is, Kevin, 24th minute, right? I have it here. Ronaldo bombs down the right-hand side on a counter-attack. No support. Rashford arrives late in the box. Yeah. And at that stage, we're 2 down. And there's no sense of urgency from Rashford, from Greenwood, from McTominay, from Fred to go and support Ronaldo, who, let's be fair, guys, we are not espousing Ronaldo anymore as a speed merchant, but he wins the ball, bomb down the line, and there's no support.
Yeah.
Like Kevin, I've said in the show many times, I'm quoting myself back, I can accept losing. Because sport, on any given Sunday, you win, you lose. But it's the manner in which you lose. Like, go out on your sword like a gladiator, not on a whimper. Now, I'm just picking that out as, for me, one of the key. Obviously, we can go through the goals if you want, but that element of the game, 24th minute, Ronaldo is doing his thing, and there's no support from his teammates. The players, I know in the media, a lot was made, that they're playing for the manager, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not.
I agree.
Second half.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. You go, Joe. You go.
No. Sorry, no. I actually have a question to ask you, Jay, as well. But that is it, okay? Because these players, we see them playing international football. We see them playing at moments. You're like, these are top class players. They've given up on the manager's ideals, and they have no interest, and they know. I hope they know, at least if that's the reason for this, that the writing's on the wall and there's a new person coming in and they just want this done. And I hate saying that. I hate saying this so much because there's no manager I'd want to succeed more than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but it's done. But the question I have for both of you, are any of you surprised by the result here?
Absolutely not. The Villarreal game, you know, we came back at the death. The Atlanta game, and I touched on it in the show, some of the people in the show were losing their minds. They'll come back when I was like, no, Atlanta were missing 5 first choice players, and we got out of jail. And I said in the show, and some of the people disagree with me, that was a terrible first half. But the players in second half, they played for themselves because they do not want to be in the Europa League. That was nothing to do with Solskjaer. Yep. But a lot of the pundits and the pundits went to Solskjaer for making changes. And I did not subscribe to that. Today, guys, the players down tools. Second half, like there was this disjointed press where, you know, Bruno would press like a head of chicken, but you press the team. So I think today, guys, it's like certain players are pressing as individuals by themselves. But, you know, like if you're pressing, you hunt like a bunch of angry wolves. That's you press. Today, like the so-called press, it was an individual press if and when a player felt like it. But that goes back to what we've said on the show so many times: coaching. There is no coaching.
Yeah, I will say that I disagree. That I was surprised that it was 5-0. I was actually surprised because I thought it probably should have been more. And that sounds really bad. Yeah, when you look at 5-0 at halftime, what it was, and I was fearful anyway at halftime. I'm thinking this is gonna. Don't get me wrong, it was embarrassing anyway. This is gonna get a hell of a lot more embarrassing. I think one of the main things as well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was on about. You look at the defeat to Leicester, and all of a sudden he's on about mixing it up. Need to make big changes, make big calls. So his big call was to leave out Paul Pogba. And he sort of contradicts himself all the time. It's almost like the panic button gets hit. So, all right, I've left out Paul Pogba. I'm not sure what that says to Paul Pogba and the fact that Manchester United want him to sign a new contract and he can quite easily leave for free. But you look at Manchester United today again, what's he done? Brings him on, brings him on into the team. Now, that's Solskjaer again for me being weak. Yeah. You've left him out for a reason, but he's one of our better players, system-wise, however it works. But, the sending off, Joe.
Dead right, ridiculous. Like, I think I would have easily put the mortgage on the house I hope to buy one day on the fact that someone is going to be sent off today and there's going to be a Man United player. Our heads were gone when we were 2-0 down. The frustration was the toxicity throughout the squad and throughout the stadium was evident there, and it was just going to happen no matter what. And it's like Jay said, and like you were saying as well, Kev, if Liverpool wanted, they could have easily put 10 past us. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They had a professional dignity where I know that I remember when Germany beat Brazil 7-1 in the World Cup semi-final, they said at halftime, these are our club mates, these are our friends. Do you know what I mean? Let's not do this. Friends. But if they were anyway, if there was the same toxicity, the same hunger that I feel has been lost for about 20 years in football, they would have gone and they would have been 10, 11, 12-0 today easily. So we got lucky that they took sympathy on us, and we should be glad that it was only 5-0. Prior to the game going in, I had no thoughts on us winning this game. When Bruno had his chance in the beginning, I thought that's what Ollie was going for. Hit them early, get 1-0, and then sit back, hope, and then it might be 1-1, and then you might hit them again. It might be 2-1, whatever it is. But like as soon as they got the first goal, and how simple, easy, and embarrassing that goal was, and how shameful it was for us to concede a goal as simple as that, shows how the divide for us between, I'll say we're 4th place club. Our divide between 4th place and 3rd place is more than 5-0 loss. And if we continue with Ollie, it's going to get worse from here. Do you know? And there's just literally, there's nothing more to talk about aside from we need a new structure in this club and we need it done tonight. And if it doesn't happen now, because Jose was sacked in a similar circumstances. We lost 3-1 at Anfield. Obviously, a far better result. We would have dreamed for a 3-1 loss today. If they don't do it now, I don't know when they're going to do it. Yeah. I really don't.
And Gary, I think Gary Neville, Jay, I was just going to say on Gary Neville, it seems to be that a lot of people are saying that he's sticking by his friend, Manchester United friend. You know, he's certainly not going to go in. It's something that I am not down with. He is paid by Sky Sports to be a pundit and basically come across and give his thoughts on Manchester United. And he definitely holds back when it comes to the comments on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I've not read them, but there are people in the comments that are putting it in saying obviously he's still sticking by him. Thoughts on Gary Neville, and is this the class of 92 friends, and all that? Or
Kevin, look, I actually knew this was going to come up, so I listened very attentively to Gary Neville's commentary. Late in the game, Gary Neville said, and I quote, "Time for people to speak from the heart," unquote. His own words in the match commentary. Yes, he went on post-match and he made himself into be the biggest hypocrite I've seen in Sky Sports in all the time watching football. I have a huge respect for Gary Neville, the player. I had respect for Gary Neville, the pundit. He was one of the better pundits, I felt. But his conduct over the last couple of weeks, for me, has been unprofessional. Like Kevin, we're all mates here, and we have the banter on the show. But when any one of us makes a glaring clanger live on a show, we call it your out, and we've done it. We've done it. We have done it, and that's good. But Neville, for me, he's a hypocrite now, and he's gone down in my estimation. It's very ironic when you have the former Liverpool captain Jimmy Carragher, very bad Glazer accent there. Kevin, do better. Became the voice of United fans over the last month. Yeah. Now Gary Neville, right, sacked more managers at Salford FC than Katie Price had husbands, but yet he won't call us out because he's fucking mate. That's horseshit.
Yeah. I completely agree with you.
That went over so many people's heads there. That went over a lot of people's
heads. Jay, you said it absolutely perfectly. Like it's really frustrating that like a Scouser is more on the ball with how United, the pulse of Man United fans, and across the I remember when there was the Glazers out movement, which I hope comes back again in full strength. But when it was the European Super League, he was speaking at Graham Souness about the intricacies about being basically about being a Man United fan and our thoughts and feelings better than anyone on Sky Sport. And you're like, and I have a huge amount of respect for Jamie Carragher, fair play to him, but like it should not be coming from a Scouser. It just shouldn't be that way. And Gary Neville, he's got his fingers in a few pies and he's afraid to say what he really feels. I think it's the case. And you don't want that representing you. And he's representing us.
It is, you look at Carragher from his point of view, he don't give a shit. He will just say it how it is. Yeah. It is a bit like if maybe Steven Gerrard was in charge of Liverpool and things weren't going well. Would Jamie Carragher go in hard on Steven Gerrard, and say he is not the man for the Liverpool job if they were going through the same ropey kind of times that we are having at the minute? But this evening, there is a super chat there, actually. Is it Mark Bosson said, it was a freak first half, relax.
No, sorry. No. Thank you for the super chat.
God.
Let me just finish this, Joe.
No. Jesus Christ, no. Sorry.
Wait, sorry. He said, stop thinking you know
Joe,
more.
Calm down.
That super chat's just disappeared as well. But we have got Zayn Miassi, Jay's favourite.
We got Zayn. My man Zayn.
Are you ready for it, Jay? Jay, you ready for us, mate? And a few sort of celebrating emoji faces. You are banter like us. And that's an Arsenal fan.
That's it. And that's it, though.
Actually, Zayn, I was pissed off the weekend there because I've got Saka on my fancy team. I left him on the bench, so I was kind of annoyed. But there you go. Maybe he might do one against us.
Yeah. I put Ronaldo as captain today. I just couldn't have captain Salah. Not a chance of happening.
I sold Ronaldo and put in Vardy. But you know me, I'm ruthless.
Yeah.
Guess who my captain was today? Guess who my captain was today?
Go on.
Salah.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
I
you
knew
dirty
you were gonna,
Salah.
before you said it, I knew you were going to say it. Fair play, you got first place.
Guys, what do I always say? What is sport? A competition. What's it about? One word. Begins with W, ends in G. Yeah, that's what all matters. Winning.
Yeah.
Rootless. Actually, back when, in 2013 or 2012, I can't remember, because it's hanging in the wardrobe. In the inside neck of the home jersey, Relentless is etched on inside of the jersey. I think it's 2013 jersey. The old Aeon jersey. Yes, I've got Chicharito 14 in the back. And so back then, Relentless is etched into the jersey. Now, what we put into the jersey? Capitulation?
Sorry, there's just another super chat in there from Philmo who says 5 to Liverpool at home. That's it for me. Probably is the running sort of feeling with a lot of Manchester United fans this evening. I'd be very surprised, unless you're Gary Neville and you're trying to protect your friend, and go, yeah, he's sound, trust the process, give him time. Listen, I have always been of the opinion as well that I said I would give him till the end of the season. But I drastically, week on week, the fact there is no game, it's the game plan thing for me. I think Jay even said earlier, you can take getting beat. You can take a defeat if you give it a bit of a go. If we lose that 2-1 today and we've gone at them, you go, right, it just wasn't our day today. Bruno Fernandes misses that chance early on, but could have put us 1-0 up. But apart from that, and the cracks are starting to show. Whether people like to admit that or not, like Gary Neville, the cracks are starting to show. And this is the reason, and I go back to a point that I've made so many times, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bringing Cristiano Ronaldo back to Manchester United will be the undoing of him. This will finish him off. Because you've got an absolute, well, we say about the ego of Cristiano Ronaldo, but the actual player that he is, the Ballon d'Ors, Champions League, he's a winner. He's not come to Manchester United as a retirement home. He's not come to where Viva Ronaldo sung by the crowd again. He's here to win trophies, and he has stated that. So he's only been here, about a month or whatever, Joe? And you look at that, and by his body language, right? He doesn't want to get beat. Like I say, he's not here for the paycheck. Now, when the cracks start showing, and players like that, you've got the likes of Pogba, who I still personally believe will leave Manchester United on a free. But the discontent, the bad vibes that you get, Ronaldo, it won't take Ronaldo long to figure out that the current setup of McKenna, Carrick, Solskjaer, Mike Phelan even to an extent, he'll look and go, what's going on here, man?
I think, Kev, the thing is, what the Glazers might look at, who is a bigger asset to United right now? Is it Solskjaer or is it Ronaldo? And let's be honest, it's always Ronaldo. And Ronaldo, obviously. And Ronaldo is already made a huge amount of money for the Glazers and will continue to do so as long as he is at the club and playing well and is happy. So if I don't like player power over manager power, but he's definitely going to be putting words in people's ears and being like, a change needs to happen. And let's be honest, it's what we all want as well. Now it's all about who we get in next. And and again, I've said this a few times, it frustrates me so much that it's gone down this avenue. And it probably should never happen in the first place. But I don't know who we go to next. We lost Tuchel. It probably should have been Tuchel last January. That's what was the big one that's lost. And I don't know if Conte or Zidane are going to come in and have the immediate effect that United fans seem to believe will happen. That these will come in and we're going to win the Champions League. These problems are deeper than Solskjaer. Do you know what I mean? These problems have been there since 2005, but they're showing their face over the past 9 or 10 years. So we need an upgrade on a manager, but we also need an upgrade on a lot of aspects of the club. So don't expect that if Ollie gets sacked in the morning, which unfortunately I hope is what happens, don't expect that it's just going to be roses from here on in. We've got a long road to compete. Liverpool, I hate saying this, are an incredibly well-run club. and structurally wise, we can only dream to be at that level. And they make a lot less money than we do, but yet they're catching up on us because they are run properly and run by owners who have an interest in running them. We are far way off that. So even changing the manager doesn't mean that we're going to win the Champions League in May.
I suppose the question is, Jay, and that I would throw to you, Manchester United and the Glazers, I think we know for a fact that they're not going to react to this. They've just sold their dividend shares midweek. What was it? 126 million that they've just put into the back pocket. Do you think that the Glazers would react to a result like this? The humiliation of being beaten 5-0 by Liverpool. What we class as this is our big rivalry. Do you think the Glazers would react off something like this? Because you look at a lot of social media, the fact that Ollie Out will be trending, this, that. They're not going to look at that, are they? Because really, all they're asked about is figures, isn't it? As long as Manchester United makes some money, like Joe says, Ronaldo, the transfer fee, bringing Ronaldo back to Manchester United commercial is massive to Manchester United. So do you think the Glazers would react to this? Or do you expect that tomorrow, the storm cloud blows over and we're just back to basically what we are today?
Okay, Kevin, I'm glad you asked that question because there's a few things to pull apart there. First thing being, sacking Solskjaer tonight or tomorrow morning is not the panacea. Yes, his tenure is untenable. Results-wise, he should be sacked. We said that he was given the keys to this mystical Ferrari the metaphor we use, but he's driving like a toddler. So yes, he should be sacked, but sacking him isn't the only issue. We've said on numerous shows on a Monday morning, there's nobody in a football capacity above Solskjaer that dragging me off to say, listen, Ole, with all due respect, why the fuck did you start McFred again today? What happened to this 4-3-3 you were talking about in the off-season? Why haven't you found some tactical methodology to play Cavani and Ronaldo together? So there's nobody in the club over Solskjaer that asks the questions that we ask regarding fitness levels, regarding coaches, regarding tactics. So say Solskjaer sacked tomorrow morning, in comes Conte. Richard Arnold is still there.
Yeah.
Darren Fletcher is still there. John Murta, the heir apparent to Woodward, is still there. So nothing changes from the top. And I feel no matter who comes in as the manager, we are going to sit here in 2 years' time and have the same conversation again. That for me, Kevin and Joe, that therein lies the problem. The Glazers probably couldn't find Liverpool on a map, let alone realise the gravitas a 5-0 home defeat is going to have on the fan base. Like the Glazers, their interest, and I've said it in many shows, their interest is Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and winning back-to-back Super Bowls. That is what they're interested in, is the Buccaneers. We are a cash cow to extrapolate dividends. That's all they're interested in. Just this week, Kevin, we all saw it on the socials. The club is using a classic Machiavellian tool of divide and conquer. Basically saying the match-going fans are more important than the millions of fans watching around the world that engage in social media and whatnot, and literally support your manager, sing the songs, nothing to see here, which is quite ironic because the social media department, their lifeblood is clicks, likes, and shares, but yet, ironically, it's trying to split the fan base. Now you started the show off, Kevin, with you're sick to death of every week the spin. Oh, we go again, another game next week. Bruno Fernandes, guys, who I love Bruno Fernandes, but he's not writing his own tweets. His social media company the last few weeks, some of the dross that his company has been putting out for him on Twitter is just laughable. It is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So back to my point, Kevin, sacking Solskjaer tomorrow, we all want it. Yes, we do. But it won't solve the bigger problems. And which is the structure of the club from the top down.
Yeah. You're dead
and
right.
that's, I suppose the question is, and I think we are at this point, most Manchester United fans would be, and you make an interesting point, Jay, about is it more sort of short term? But I mean, you look at the Ajax manager, and what an animal. I mean, they beat Borussia Dortmund midweek, and he comes out after it. And I mean, they absolutely battered him, you know, like kind of Liverpool did to us today, 4-0. And he's coming out after the game saying there was things we didn't do right. You know, we'll go and talk to the players and that. And yet we get excuses every week, whether it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying it was too bright, the grass was too long, you know, this, that. It's
Kevin, that's a brilliant point. It goes back to that animal winning mentality. Like you win 1-2-0. You look at, well, why didn't we win 3-4-0? Why didn't we keep our possession of the ball? Why am I passing stats at X when I want them at Y? Alex Ferguson, back in the 80s, he beat Rangers, and it's in the new Alex Ferguson movie. And he's interviewed after he's just beaten Rangers
in the cup final,
in the Scottish Cup final.
Yeah,
and you could see the anger on his face. He is ripping his players apart live on air in Edinburgh. Edinburgh?
No, it's in Hampden Park. It was Scottish Cup final.
Park. Yeah. Apologies. Yeah. So he's ripping his players a new arsehole live on air. They've just won the Scottish Cup. They've just beaten Rangers. And he is he's telling them that was a terrible performance. I've never seen it. What does he say? Something like, I've never seen a worse performance in my life, but they've just won the Scottish Cup. Yeah. That is a mentality monster. It's my favorite phrase to use. And in sport, you want that mentality monster as your manager. Will he be your best friend? No. Will he put arm around your shoulder? No. But I tell you what he'll do, he'll win. Yeah. And that's what we want. That's what we need. But the Glazers and Woodward and Judge and Arnold, they don't want a mentality monster because they cannot harness a mentality monster. They can't put him in his box and wheel him out at the press conferences knowing he's going to make these basically, I think Solskjaer press conference is a toss between Mr. Bean and Forrest Gump. It's bland. It's not engaging. But the Glazers and his bosses know he won't offend anybody. There'll be no negativity from the press conference. And that is what they want. They can't handle a Conte. I don't think they could handle Zidane. And Ten Hag, as you said, Kevin, he's a different animal. And we won't get Ten Hag until the end of the season anyway. And also then Luis Enrique, he might be available in the season. Who I love in an ideal world, I love Simeone. He would come in literally and kick ass and take names. Now, I know people are going to say in the comments, oh, but he won't play United way. Lads, we haven't played United way since 2013. And last time I checked, and Kevin, you said in a show, we asked people, what was United way? And Kevin, you said in one word, winning.
Yeah.
There you go.
Winning and trophies. We've got a super chat in there from Mr. Glenn Johnson. I don't think it is the Mr. Glenn Johnson, but he said, I would also pick Ten Hag as he plays the same football we want at United. But do we honestly think he'd get more out of our midfield players? We have spent 100 million plus in January. We have to spend 100 million plus in January to save the season. I think a better manager, and I have stated that, a better manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets a hell of a lot more out of these players.
Kevin.
I know that phrase, you can't polish a turd and all that, in the kind of thing of Fred. I think a better manager with a system where people know what's going on. Manchester United are instantly looking like a different team if everybody's singing from the same hymn sheet, should we say?
Like Leicester, will look at them as an example. We're nearly relegated in 2015 and barely changed the squad and won the league in 2016 under new management. Okay, you can say a somewhat similar thing with this one. We've got world-class players in just about every position. and they're playing like they've never seen a football before. Unfortunately, that comes down to what I feel they have no confidence in themselves under the management they're under. And Jay said earlier on perfectly, we beat Atlanta because they didn't want to play Europa League football. That's it. They rallied for that. We lost 5-0 today. We're not. The players that came out today.
That's the thing, Joe. Can you get your logically, right? Think about this. That same team that started against Liverpool today, he threw out against Atalanta. This is what I can't get my head around, right? We are 2-0 down against Atalanta. He changes it and we win the game. Yeah. And then he starts today against Liverpool, who are levels above Atalanta.
Yeah.
With that same team that you've given away a 2-goal head start. And I just do not understand it. I am baffled by it. When I see the team come out and I'm like, and then obviously as a United fan, you're like, right, you fall into that PR territory of, right, let's go, we go again. But it's not, it's just like...
I think he just wants to be proved right. That's it. He's not willing to change his system because he's like, no, it'll eventually show me that I am right. And that's it. It's down to ego. And it's been an utter disaster and failure and needs to be changed immediately. And if it is in the morning, we'll all celebrate. I'll be sad as well because there's no manager I want to succeed post Ferguson more than him. But like, it's done. There's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from this.
And that is what I would say, Joe, right? Any Manchester United fan this evening that has, we've all got that emotional attachment to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yeah. Do not feel bad about it. Don't feel like you're cheating on your missus or whatever, going down that type of route, because the Glazers and Manchester United have put us in this position by appointing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They knew what they were doing, because it's almost like you get the fans on side and you're emotionally attached then. So you're in and you want him to do well. So that bides him time. That's give him the 3 years. We've not won a single trophy. So you're in with him. You're in with him. You try to support him. Of course, you want to see him do well. But it does get to that stage where you look and you're like, this is not working. And this is not a personal attack on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There'll be people in the comments saying, oh, Kev, top red. I get that all the time. Oh, he's a top red. He's defending Solskjaer and that. I am not. And I will not publicly slate him as a person. I love everything that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did for Manchester United. Don't get me wrong. One of the best nights of my life was when he scored that goal and completed the treble that no other English club has done. But there does come a day like this now where you have to think, well, listen, Manchester United is bigger than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Manchester United need to be competitive. And Liverpool today, that for me is the wake-up call. It is the moment. This is the moment that Manchester United need to react. And I do not know whether the club are big enough to actually do that, because I honestly, the heartbreaking thing is, as long as they are financially making money, competing around the top 4, and that's a heartbreaking thing, I think they're all right and they're like sound. Like I say, I mentioned earlier, 126 million they just took out of this club this week, and we are still, in theory, in debt, aren't we? On paper, us as fans are still paying that off, aren't we, Jay?
Yeah.
Kevin, this point here I want to make, it's the famous quote from Einstein, and we use it in the context of Glazers and Solskjaer. You said there, Kevin, you're spot on. He played the same team today against Atalanta, 2-0 down at half time, and expected a different result. So Einstein said, do the same thing over and over and over again. Expected result is insanity, right? So we park that as Solskjaer insanity in that context. However, the Glazers, they've been doing the same thing over and over again since they bought the club on 800 million pounds worth of debt, which is still there. They've been taking out dividends year on year by investing the minimum net spend season on season. Okay. Now, look at, they have backed this manager 400 million, so we'll park that. They have backed him. But the second season, when after Jose finished second, he wasn't backed in the market. We know that. That's another story. But they're doing the same thing over and over again in their running in the club. But they're getting the same result. But their result is big, fat dividends, big, fat share price increases. So as they see it, they're doing nothing wrong. But our manager, he's the opposite, ironically. The same thing over and over again. And what he's doing has been proved to be wrong. Game in, game out, game in, game out. And back to the point where we discussed it in many shows, would an elite manager get a tune out of that midfield? Well, the first thing he wouldn't do, he wouldn't play hopes and prayers in midfield in front of Maguire and Varane. He'd probably drop Maguire and, when fit, play Bailly and Varane. Who would like to see a Bailly and Varane when they're fit over a Maguire and Lindelof? And then in midfield, play your Donny, play your Matic, play your Pogba in your 4-3-3 or whatever formation you have in yourself. But our manager, oh, no. It's a 4-2-3-1 straight jacket. Risk averse, pragmatic, the nice words that we've used, guys, on shows. We've all been nice because club legend, and we've all been nice to him on shows. But let's be fair, guys. He was out of his depth. We haven't kept a clean sheet in 20, but he still plays a 4-2-3-1 formation. So something's wrong.
I will say one thing, Joe and Jay. You will be absolutely delighted to know that we have come to the end of the show. How great's that, eh?
Hallelujah.
It's a therapy session, this. That's what I look at. Some people go and pay people, to get this kind of thing off the chest. Pay other people to listen to their shit. And what we've done this evening is pick the bones off it. I think we're all in total agreement that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, looking forward, it's not going to happen.
It's done. Yeah.
And I was thinking of some words of positivity then. I was going to say, bad result, but we move on. Yeah,
we go again.
Yeah, we go again next week.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Joe,
God.
Thanks very much for coming on, mate. Always great to speak to you.
Always a pleasure, Kev. Thanks so much. And absolute legend, you and Jay. It's a pleasure to be miserable with the two of you.
Yeah, and Mr. Jay Daly. Are you on the protein shakes tonight and back on the bike in the living room, or are you on the red wine?
No, I'm actually off the wine for the last 8 weeks. I'm doing a pro bodybuilding show in 5 weeks' time. So I'm low carb, high protein, and starvation diet.
What a man.
Rock and roll.
Absolute legend.
That's the life.
Man.
That's the life.
Yeah. Thanks very much for watching the Fan Forum. I can safely say that this has been the worst one. Well, I don't mean worst for Joe and Jay. I mean, actually, in terms of a result, I can't ever remember doing anything quite like this. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the United Stand, and very shortly, if you can put yourself through it, you are going to get on the United Stand. The fan vlogs are going to go up. That's people that were at Old Trafford today, which I know Adam was outside the ground. I don't know how many people were actually left there by that point, because I think even at half-time, it seemed that a lot of Manchester United fans were leaving. And listen, that's where we're at the minute. There's only one way to deal with this, isn't there? Red wine and beer, that's what I'm going for. And I'm away to Wales for a week. So
cheers,
I'm
folks.
going into hiding. Thank you very much,
Enjoy.
Joe. Thank you very much,
Pleasure.
Jay. You've been watching the biggest Man United fan channel in the land. This is the United Stand.
Woohoo. Woohoo.
Oh, yeah.
See you.